Well, friends, today we are again spending some time on religion. In the previous two lectures, I have concentrated on Karl Marx's theory of religion. And broadly speaking, according to Karl Marx, religion is seen as the opium of the working class. Now, this opium has important connotations. It's not just one meaning of opium, but several meanings. One meaning of opium is that you are not part of the reality, for which Karl Marx uses another term, false consciousness. That in the capitalist system, based on inequality, contradictions, exploitation, capitalist class through state or media will use ideology to keep the working classes in dark. And one method of keeping working classes in dark is to promote religion. So religion becomes part of false consciousness. In that sense, according to Marx, religion is the opium of the working classes. The moment people realize what is reality, they think, know, learn about reality from ideology, from leaders, from clear understanding of the dynamics of society, the religion will fade away. As in the communist society or in socialist society, when means of production will become collectivized and classes will vanish, state will vanish, religion will also vanish. So according to Karl Marx, religion is the opium of the working classes, false consciousness. But Karl Marx and many Marxist writers, including the statesman Lenin, also believe that this religion serves many other purposes in maintaining, legitimizing, and developing, promoting the capitalist system. There are different terms for this, opium, gin, but the meaning is same. Delusion, illusion, false consciousness. Now, looked at from a positive perspective, according to Marxists, religion prevails in a condition of alienation, also because it's the only hope of the hopeless world, where people are alienated, poor, unemployed, sometimes getting job, sometimes not getting job. There is a more frequent hiring and firing of workers in centers of industries, where mortality is high, malnutrition is high, diseases are high. People live in wretched conditions. Only some people, the owners of means of production, have all the benefits of development and all others are alienated. In that situation, religion also becomes a kind of hope in the hopeless world. Otherwise, the working class has nothing to look forward. In this life, they can't look anything forward. They can't expect that their life can be improved. They don't expect that the life of their children will be much better than their own life. So this religion which tells them that after your death, you will be enjoying, you will be having a much more pleasant life than these rich people, the bourgeoisie, the middle classes, the owners of means of production who have access to everything. That gives them some kind of hope and they survive. So it's a hope Opium in the sense it's part of false consciousness, but opium also in the sense that it's the only hope in the hopeless world. So a rickshaw puller struggles hard throughout the day for minimum earnings, like 100. We always blame that rickshaw pullers and manual laborers often spend their money in drinking, that they will earn say 100 rupees in daytime and spend 30-40 rupees on drinking, carry much less than say 50 rupees to their family for maintenance of their wife and children. We blame them, but we don't realize that for this rickshaw puller or a hard physical laborer, this evening when he is spending 25-30 rupees on liquor, that is the only time he looks towards every day. If there is any pleasure in his life, it is only for those 1 or 2 hours when he goes to a cheap liquor shop and he drinks, and then he feels happy. So in this, because otherwise there is nothing to look forward. Compare life of the rickshaw puller or tempo driver or hard physical laborer with life of a senior civil servant. A senior civil servant is enjoying his life even when he is working. Day before yesterday we called the local IG of police to give a lecture to our students, and he spoke for more than 1 hour, presented some slides. He was telling about his experience of corruption and all. Now this civil servant and BTech from IIT and then IPS, this person is, and during daytime when he is working, when he is working in the office, when he is taking a meeting of SP and other police officials of the city, or he is making a presentation in IIT Kanpur. In that work also there is a kind of pleasure. He is enjoying during the working day also. In work there is a pleasure. All his needs. One day I wrote on the board what are all the needs of a human being using H. Maslow's framework of need hierarchy. All the needs are satisfied. On that day, that IG Sahab was feeling that he is the greatest of all those present in the audience. He felt that he was the greatest, certainly greater than the faculty members of IIT. Because when I introduced him to one faculty member of computer science, with certain degree of pride I said that IIT Kanpur is one institution where its own graduates are working as a faculty member. In computer science department, there are lots of opportunities for BTechs of computer science, BTechs, MTech, PhD. So I said that we are very proud of this fact that in our computer science, Karkare was from computer science. And the immediate response of IG Sahab was that they must not be BTech from this place. He made a distinction between BTechs of this place and MTech and PhDs of this place. And he made it clear that it is only MTechs and PhDs of this place who are a slightly inferior breed of graduates who will become faculty subsequently. BTechs of this place will not like to become faculty. So high, so inflated was his ego. Even during daytime, when he is working, he is conducting meetings, speaking somewhere, meeting minister, so or a capitalist, or even as a teacher. I don't feel a need to, as a teacher, if I like my work, as a teacher, if I like my work, the work gives me so much of satisfaction that I don't look for an evening of liquor. Actually, sometimes I lightly say that these 1 or 2 hours which I spend in the classroom are the best hours spent in daytime for me. If I like teaching, if I don't like, but most people we expect that in bureaucracy, middle class, upper middle class, they like their work. And work is also such that it can be liked. It gives them money, maintenance, sustenance, it gives them status, it gives them diversion, creativity, expression of their ideas. It provides for interaction with like-minded people, lots of things. Creativity, diversion, challenge, whatever we expect. Modern psychological theories of motivation tell us we get all those things. So we are happy. But look at the workers, alienated worker. What is happiness in running a rickshaw? What is happiness when he is pulling 3 persons, 4 persons sitting in his rickshaw? Or somebody working in scorching sun throughout the day for construction of a 6-story building somewhere. There is no happiness in work. And when there is no happiness in work, then the happiness has to come from somewhere. It may be liquor or it may be religion. So religion is everywhere, and for alienated workers, opium or liquor, desi liquor, something to take them away from the miseries and wretched conditions, hopeless condition of this world should be there. And as an institution of society, religion does that job. Liquor is a bad thing. In society it is always rejected. In those societies where most people take liquor, even there, drunkard is to be used in deviant or abusive sense. But religion as a source of hope in the hopeless world is there. People feel, workers may feel happy. A priest may go to a worker and say that Jesus will save you, and remember that a camel can pass through the needle, through the eye of a needle, but a rich man will never enter the heaven. Heaven is only waiting for you. And the workers will feel happy. Or a Christian priest will come and say that, you see, you cannot ever serve 2 masters. Workers know only to serve. So priest will tell them that no one can serve 2 masters simultaneously. And likewise, you can either serve God or you can serve materiality. Means you can either look for material rewards in this life, or for religious merit, or for purity, or for grace of the God, or the grace of the Son of God. Or similarly in all religions. And Islamic ulema will go to workers and say that all the talk of this world has always been like that. There have been rich and poor, more powerful, less powerful. But this world is illusory. We have come here to play our role and to follow the guidance given to us by the messenger of God. We must follow him. The only right thing is to follow the messenger of God, because a day of judgment will come, and on the day of judgment, God's decision or what will happen to your soul will not depend on whether you are a rich person or a poor person, you are educated or uneducated, or you are conservative or revolutionary. You will be judged on the basis of whether you truly believed in Allah or not, and whether you truly followed what was told through the messenger of God to you people. That is the right thing. And the workers may for some time forget the wretched conditions of the world around. Same thing with Hindus. And then this opium also in the sense of false hope. Religion may create false hope. So in this world also, sometimes religion creates false hope in this world also. So you pray your Lord, your God, your gods and goddesses, you carry prasad with them, you offer gold, you offer money, and you believe that your desires will be fulfilled. That by going to temple your desires will be fulfilled, and you feel happy. at least for some time till the results come. If 6 months before the exam, final exam, annual exam, you tell God that God, I will offer you this much money or this prasad, you give me first division, or you do something so that I top my university or board. So at least for 6 months till the result comes, you are happy. And if result comes in your favor, you are doubly happy and you attribute this to God. If this does not come to your favor, then in place of blaming God, then you find some other interpretation. Either that you did not truly worship, or there was some sins, some disbelief in your activities and your belief systems, or because of some deeds in the previous birth. Deeds in Indian society, where most of us are Hindus, not Christians or Muslims, this deeds in the previous birth is a very good explanation for everything. That I did not get this, or I got this because of deeds in the previous birth. Sometimes when I see in a lighter vein, it's not true, but in a lighter vein I am saying, that I see many of my colleagues very stressed in taking classes and in checking answer books. And when they see me, he remains so cheerful, even when he is evaluating answer books of 100 students. So I tell them, अरे भाई मुझे कुछ फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है, क्योंकि मैं कापी उठाता हूँ, and even without reading their answers, I give some marks, because I know that their marks are based on their deeds in the previous birth. Yeah? When their marks and grades are based on their deeds in the previous birth, I am only a nimit. So whether I read their answers or I do not read their answers, it doesn't matter. So religion tells, religion provides explanation of unfavorable circumstances, and religion keeps us hopeful. In a word, Karl Marx is more concerned about this aspect, that this world is hopeless. This world is full of contradictions. This world is full of inequalities, miseries, exploitation, dominance, oppression, this capitalist world. Now, if they do not take the opium, if the workers are not under the influence of the opium of religion or false consciousness or false hope, then they will try to understand the world. Then they will try to understand the sociology of this world. And they will start, on the basis of their true knowledge of this world, they will start doing something to change the world. Marx believed that those who know about the world, they are by the influence of their knowledge going to change this world. And that means by nature, a subject like sociology or the knowledge of the world is going to be subversive. After knowledge of this world, you cannot remain in this world as you are. The knowledge will force you to change the world. So when real consciousness, for which they will use the term revolutionary consciousness. There is a false consciousness and there is revolutionary consciousness. When the revolutionary consciousness will come, then the working classes will change the world. And in changing the world, what it means, what Karl Marx envisions as a society in which there will be no exploitation or oppression, Karl Marx believes that since the private ownership of means of production has created all these conditions, so collectivization of means of production will change the world. If you want a formula for changing the world, the formula is collectivization of means of production. When means of production are collectivized and under dictatorship of proletariat they become the property of the state, then gradually the proletariats or the working classes will use that property, that capital, a means of production, for the upliftment of the whole society, since there are no classes. Then if there is a surplus in the sense of value addition, not in the sense of labor expropriated from the working class by the agents of capitalism, then this value addition will be used for the upliftment of all the classes. There is no class, upliftment of the whole society. So whole society will benefit from education. Whole society will benefit from political, legal, moral, all kinds of developments in society. This is what Karl Marx thinks, collectivization of means of production. Now this was the Marxist theory of religion. But I will be biased if I say that only Karl Marx has looked at religion, or that Marxist theory is the right theory of religion. Let us examine some other theories of religion also. And let us see how some other sociologists have looked at religion, because this alienation or false consciousness or opium as a metaphor for religion may also have some limitations. If there were no limitations, if Marxist theory applied to everything and to all societies, then the work will stop there, then sociologists will stop working, and everybody will be talking of Marxist theory only, then sociology will become a religion. But sociology is not a religion, and there are other sociologists who have looked at religion in other ways. And today we will look at some of those viewpoints which are given by other sociologists. I have also written some points from Gisbert's book, and so that I do not forget to cover some major points of sociology of religion. Like family we discuss that there are various types of family. There is joint family, nuclear family, vertically extended family, horizontally extended family. In state we have various types of states. We have anarchy, we have state capitalism, various types of capitalism. We have socialism, communism, fascism, Nazism. Similarly, religions are also of different types. And sociologists have developed certain terms to convey that there is a variety of religion. There are some people who are atheists, who do not believe in God, or atheism. Atheism means non-believing, lack of belief in God, or sometimes also interpreted as lack of belief in religion. Atheism is lack of belief, and theism, if you remove a, theism, T-H-E-I-S-M, theism is belief in God or belief in religion. Now theism is also various types. Theism may be polytheism. Polytheism means belief in a large number of gods and goddesses. There is some anthropological work to show that initially there was superstition, animism. I will explain the meaning of these terms. Then magic, witchcraft, sorcery. And when religion comes, in almost all religions, all major world religions, Christianity, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, you find references to superstitions, animism, magic, witchcraft, sorcery, which shows there are clear statements in Old Testaments and New Testaments, and in Quran and in all Hindu books, which show magic and witchcraft as prevailing at a time when somebody was trying to develop some or spread some religious beliefs and ideas. Gradually, when religion is spread, we find statements to the effect that before Judaism, before Christianity, before Islam, and at least in that part of the world where this Judaism, Christianity and Islam prevailed, there was practice of polytheism. Polytheism means people believing in diverse gods and goddesses. Poly means many, theism means belief in God, and polytheism means belief in multiple gods. Case of India is different. In India, there has not been a progression of this type, that polytheism to monotheism, which under the influence of all these religions, Judaism, Christianity and Islam, there has been a progress from polytheism to monotheism. That in those areas where these three major world religions spread, people gradually shifted from polytheism to monotheism. In time of Prophet Muhammad, there were so many small temples, religious practices, gods, goddesses, people worshipping pebbles and having so many mythologies. And Prophet Muhammad said that all this is superstition, ignorance, non-religion, and there is only one God, the Allah, worship only Allah. There is only one God, Allah. So there was polytheism. Some people may say that in many parts of Europe and Asia, either Buddhism or something similar to Hinduism prevailed, because that is closer to polytheism. And Prophet Muhammad made people monotheistic. Actually, Islam is much more monotheistic than Christianity or other religions, including Judaism. Because in Islam, there is only one God. You worship God. You do not worship any other person. You worship only God. Prophet Muhammad was not the son or friend or anything or family member of God. Prophet Muhammad was the messenger of God. So it's what you learn in Quran is the word of God. There is no one between you and God. You are not expected to bow your head before anyone except God. God is almighty, God is everything, and God is everywhere. Monotheism. Pantheism, pan means everywhere kind of. So there are also some religions which are based on the belief that everything is God, or in everything the true essence of everything is God. God is everywhere. What is this God is everywhere? Can you imagine what is this kind of belief? God is everywhere. I think this pantheism kind of one thing in all religions of Judaism, one major difference between Judaism, Christianity and Islam, God is outside the creation. Because God created this world. The basic story of creation of universe is believed by everyone, Judaism, Christian. These are offshoots. Islam is offshoot, in some sense, an offshoot of Christianity, or a movement which tried to rectify certain weaknesses or some errors which creeped in Christian beliefs, or errors of polytheism prevailing in those parts where Prophet Muhammad worked. And Christianity is obviously, Christ did not say that he is spreading a new religion of Christianity. Christ believed that he was a Jew. He believed in Judaism. Christ's own religion, Jesus Christ's own religion was Judaism. It was not Christianity. It was like Gautam Buddha. Gautam Buddha did not say that he is spreading a new religion. He followed the same practices which were followed by Hindu seers, monks, philosophers, intellectuals, same thing. But gradually, the Christianity separated from Judaism. In all these three religions, one interesting thing is that God is outside the creation. So, because God created this world. If God created this world, then God cannot be found in this world. And there is again a mythology of when did God create this universe, what is the place of man in this universe, how did man get created, how did woman get created, what is the relationship between man and woman, what should be the ideal relationship between man and God, what is the similarity and dissimilarity between God and men and women, and what is the relationship, what kind of relationship God expected to exist between men and other creations of God. But there is also a worldview more prevalent in India, that everything is God. Now, this everything is God, most religious tendencies of India, philosophical tendencies, most religious and philosophical tendencies of India believe that God is in the universe, in the creation. So, whether it is Purus of Sankhya, or it is Brahman of Vedantins, or it is Krishna of ISKCON, or anything else. For most philosophies of India or of Hindu origin, Hindu means which is not non-Hindu. Everything which is not non-Hindu is Hindu. So, for all these philosophies of Hindu origin, God is in the universe only. This is one very interesting philosophical difference between these religions and Hindu religions. Although the practicing part of Hindu religion, rituals, rites, many belief systems, common belief systems prevailing in society are not different from beliefs of these people. So, ideally, God is. There are distortions. There are true belief systems as given in the books, and there are practices. Practices do not always match with the beliefs. In religion, belief is one thing, and practice is another. And this discordance or this inconsistency or incongruence between beliefs and practices is found in all religions. According to, just to give one or two examples, according to Islam, you can do sajda or you can bow only before God, before no one else, and you will not ask for anything to anyone else other than Allah. It is un-Islamic that way, going by the fundamentals of Islam, and there are many Muslims who believe in this theory. It is against the fundamentals of Islam to go to mazars of Sufi saints or others, including Ajmer Sharif. If you are a true Muslim, you will not go to Ajmer Sharif. If you are a true Muslim, then you will ask for anything from Allah only. You will not ask for anything from anyone else, no matter how good or bad or great or small they are. So, as a true Muslim, you are not permitted to visit dargah of any Sufi saint also. And there is no need for you to go to any mosque. You can do sajda or naman or bow. You pay your true faith, reverence only to Allah. So, it is un-Islamic to go to places like Ajmer Sharif and say that if you get A grade in this course, then you will come and offer a chadar. That is un-Islamic. But a large number of Muslims go there and do this kind of thing. This is an incongruence between true belief and the actual practices. Buddhism does not believe in God. At least Hinian Buddhism does not believe in God. Only Tantric Buddhism or Mahayana or Tibetan Buddhism, that kind of Buddhism which developed in certain northeastern part of India, started including magic, sorcery, witchcraft, Sanskritic tradition, Brahminical tradition, so many things. It became a mixture of so many things. But otherwise the true Buddhist religion does not believe in God. But you go to Sarnath, or you go to Bodh Gaya, or to places of importance to Buddhists, and you find that the ideal of Buddha is worshipped in the same way in which idols of Hanumanji or Ganeshji or Deviji are worshipped in Hindu temples. Again, a disjuncture between belief and practice. So this is another interesting aspect of religion, that in religion true philosophies are one and practices are other. I was mentioning this more in the context of that God is in the universe. God is in the universe. Gita says, Sankhya philosophy says, Vedanta philosophy, Mimamsa, all theists and atheists, most of the Indian, this is wrong to say that Hindus believed in God. As a matter of fact, if you know about Hindu philosophies, you will find that most of the Hindu philosophies are atheistic. They do not believe in God. Whether Sankhya, Mimamsa, and truly speaking, if there is any reference to anything like God in Hindu philosophies, applying that to all Hindu philosophies, including Buddhism, Sikhism, Jainism, then that will be very, very abstract something which is everywhere. God is in the universe. God is not at one place or in one temple or in one person or in one river or one hillock or in one book. God is everywhere. This is polytheism. This is polytheism means multiple gods and God. Pantheism. Actually, it appears quite strange to me, and maybe here lies the role of social scientists to explain this problem, that if you look at philosophies of Hindus, then Hindu philosophy is to some extent atheistic or pantheistic. Brahman everywhere. If I remember one stroke of Gita, Brahmarpanam Brahmarpanam Brahma Havir Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahme Ten Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhin, referring to Yag, metaphors of Yag. Everything is Brahman. A person who is giving Ahuti is Brahman. Ahuti is also Brahman. The Yagya Vedi in which Ahuti is given is Brahman. The goal of Ahuti is everything is Brahman. In Upanishads, everything is Brahman. It is the same Brahman which manifests in everything, men, women, plants, animals. Same thing is said by Nanak, same thing is said by Buddha, same thing is said by almost all philosophies of Hindus. Sometimes they make a distinction between Purusha and Prakriti, or monism and qualified monism, but essentially they all believe in pantheism. So either you can say pantheism can also be interpreted as atheism. Because if everything is God, you are God, I am God, everything, chair is God, in everything there is manifestation of God. You can call it pantheism or you can call it atheism. So, but like anywhere else, among Hindus, in our society also, there is a lot of disjunction between beliefs and practices. So when it comes to religious philosophy, in everything is manifested Brahman. Brahman is manifested in everything. But in daily life, a Brahman is Brahman, scheduled caste is scheduled caste, OBC is OBC. A laborer is laborer, IAS officer is IAS officer. Then we forget that IAS officer is also only Brahman, he is not more than Brahman. And the servant or the Shudra or the untouchable or the unseeable is also Brahman. We forget that. Actually, it would be great if some of such philosophies can be put in practice. But philosophies remain only at the abstract level, and in this daily world, we are governed more by the social forces than religions or philosophies. So this is atheism, non-belief in God, multiple gods and goddesses, one God, God everywhere, God in the universe. This is a major difference between this group of religions and Hindu religions, that in all Hindu religions, if you make a deep analysis of all Hindu philosophies, including Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, Vedanta, or Sanatan Dharma, or Arya Samaj, or and God is in the universe. And then in all religions there is disjunction between beliefs and practices. Let me also spend 10-15 minutes, then I will come to some more interesting sociological ideas and writings of other people. Let me also make a distinction between these words mostly drawn from Gisbert: superstition, animism, fetishism, mana, totemism, magic, sympathetic, contagion. Superstition, the definition of superstition that he gives is, the superstition is the conviction, a belief, a conviction, a firm belief that something will happen owing to causes utterly disproportionate to the event, unrelated or disproportionate to the event. As for instance, the belief that business transacted on Friday will be unsuccessful because it is an unlucky day, or that the finding of a horseshoe will bring success. If you find a horseshoe somewhere on your way, when you are walking and you find a horseshoe, you consider it to be auspicious. I can see that many of you believe in such things. You believe that certain days favor you more, or certain times favor you more, or certain colors favor you more, or the belief that you are going somewhere and a black cat crosses the road before you, then it is inauspicious or you are unlikely to succeed. This is superstition. Unconnected things. You know? Actually, I would even say that much of this, many of you may be wearing some precious stones. Many people believe in precious stones. And these precious stones show that if you wear this stone, say pearl will give you peace. Somebody is mentally disturbed, anxiety, depression, stress, and somebody will, some astrologer or somebody dealing in stones, and your astrology will come and tell, acha, you have problem, you have depression, anxiety. I know, I could see by just looking at your palm, or I could just know from numerology. You tell me your date of birth and I will tell you what kind of problems you are suffering. Okay, you were born on this day and this is your date of birth, so I am sure that you are suffering from mental depression. And the client is surprised, how does he know? Actually, everybody is suffering from depression. कौन ऐसा हम में से जो दुखी नहीं है या जिसको कोई डिप्रेशन, कोई स्ट्रेस नहीं? But when somebody comes and tells you, because your date of birth is this and because your day of birth is this, तो आप थोड़ा अशांत रहते हैं. And you feel that, oh, धन्य भाग, great luck that I could meet this great yogi or this great person of knowledge. हाँ, sir, then why? What should I do? So he will say, you better dharan, you put on in some way in the form of a garland or some way, or a ring, or you take a moti, because moti will cure all these things. But remember that ordinary pearls which are available in the market will not help you because they are duplicate. If you are really serious, then I am going to Haridwar and I bring a real pearl for you. It will be a bit more costly, but that will solve all your problems. And our client is happy, and the pearl dealer after 1 or 2 weeks will come with a pearl costing 10,000 rupees. You will wear it in your ring and you feel, peace mil gayi, my stress has gone. This is superstition. disproportionate to the event. Or if you believe that you offer a piece of bread, आप रोटी तो नहीं कर सकते because you don't cook and you are not living in your home. So, but you have access to pizza. If you believe, if somebody tells you that before going to exam, you give a loaf of or a piece of pizza to a dog of this color, you will perform well in exam. And if you believe in these things, then you are a superstitious person. All of us are superstitious. Actually, when knowledge fails or our knowledge of scientific, technical causes of something is absent, then we become superstitious. There is a place, Jwalaji is a place in Himachal Pradesh, where from somewhere, from some unknown source, something like fire comes out. It's not fire, it's some kind of light, because if you touch that fire, it's not hot, it's very cool. But people believe that this is the goddess Jwalaji, and there are stories, mythologies about several pieces made of the dead body of the goddess Parvati by Shivji, which fell in different parts of the country, where temples devoted to goddess have come up. So you believe in Jwalaji, and there are many people who will believe that if you go for darshan to Jwalaji, then this goddess of fire will solve all your problems. These can be superstitions. No connection, no scientific, no rational, technical connection between event and what you do to influence the event. But it's interesting. It's a sociological problem, a question. How is it that in the scientific age, superstitions are not weakening, superstitions are increasing? Superstitions are not weakening. We expected that in the scientific rational age, with knowledge of science, superstitions will fade. But actually superstitions are increasing, and you open TV channel, you take any newspaper, I found that even those magazines and journals which were published by leftist organizations, or where the editors at one time had philosophies more tilted towards leftism or Marxism, even those magazines and journals have started showing your weekly predictions, that if your date of birth is this, if your Rashi is this, then this week will be like this. Superstitions are increasing. Animism and animatism, Gisberts make a distinction. Animism is belief in spirits. In Herolumbus, in more detail, they have given the explanation of animism, that this arises from intellectual curiosity of man. What happens to man after death? And what happens to man in dream? We see all kinds of dreams. What happens to us in dream? And what happens to a man when he dies? And the intellectual answer, maybe one of the possible intellectual answer, which the primitive man or unscientific man gave to man or other men, society, was that in our body there is a body and there is a soul. So in dream, soul departs our body, though temporarily, goes here and there, does many good things, meets friends, enjoy, sometimes has bad experiences also, and then comes back, and when we are awake, then our soul is within us. And when a person dies, actually it is his soul which has left the body. So the idea of soul, this is what animism means. Gradually, in Herolumbus's book, there are two different concepts, animism and naturalism. Animism, he says, is because of the intellectual response to cognitive questions. Naturalism, when man sees around him powers of nature, floods, famines, fire, hailstorm, thunder, lightning, epidemics, earthquakes, then man attributes power to certain components of nature. Gradually, he starts believing that these components of nature have their own soul. Animatism. The difference is animism is the general idea of soul, body and soul, and animatism is the idea that the natural objects have their own souls. So there is a soul of river, and in Hindu religion, the goddess Ganga, Ganga becomes a woman, and she can be made happy, she can be prayed, she can be made unhappy, she can bless you, she can harm you if you. So people start believing in souls of natural things, and also a belief that these souls can be made happy, unhappy, they can be satisfied or they can be made dissatisfied, they can help you, they can be malevolent, they can be benevolent, and this all depends on your treatment of theirs. Fetishism is very similar to animatism, but animatism is more in relation to souls of natural things. Fetishism belief in powers of something, fetish. And these precious stones is also an example of fetishism. If I believe in, that this bottle is very helpful to me, whenever I carry this bottle with me, then all my desires are fulfilled. And I also believe that if I do not carry this bottle with me, when there is a court case, or I meet the director, or I meet some distant relative, or in different situations, then this belief is a kind of fetishism. Fetish can be anything. It can be piece of a stone, it can be anything. It can even be mic, it can be a bull roarer, it can be anything. It can be a chair, it can be a ring, it can be specs, a watch also, book, anything can be. If I believe that there is some special power in something, then it becomes a fetish, and that special power is mana. The term for that special power, sometimes it happens, you may feel that something in which you believe, it may be anything, say a saligram. Many Hindus believe in saligram. Saligram can be an example of fetish, or a trishul, a brass trishul. Some of you may keep a brass trishul with you, and that may give you confidence. And keeping that brass trishul with you may solve many of your problems. But a time may also come when keeping the brass trishul does not help you. That time you may believe that now the essence of that trishul, or the mana, or that special power of trishul has vanished, because special powers can come to the fetish, or they may vanish from the fetish. Totemism is a very similar thing. The main difference between this and this would be that totems are communal belief systems. Fetishes can be personal. This is communal, from which Emile Durkheim will develop an interesting theory of religion. I will come to that in the next lecture. Totemism is communal, and totem can be anything, plant, animal, anything, in which people believe that there is a special power. Magic is also a kind of superstition. Usually in literature we make a distinction between magic and religion. The major difference is that religion is collective, magic is personal or individual. Magic is further divided into 2-3 components. Sometimes when magic is done to promote goodness, to achieve something good, that is called magic. Magic is usually, or should normally be used for positive things. To get cured, to get money, to get long life, for education of your children, for employment. You go to a magic man, and magic man will do something, and you achieve all these things. That is magic. But magic, like mohs and taboos. Taboos are negative things. Mohs is a general term. So magic that way is to, magic is more of a positive term, though sometimes also used as a general term. Negative part of magic is called witchcraft or sorcery. Witchcraft or sorcery. Witchcraft focuses more on internal powers of the witches. You must have heard about Dayan Pratha in rural areas in various parts of the country, and in Bihar particularly. We often learn through newspapers that certain women will be declared Dayan, and they will be killed by the villagers or tortured. Dayan Pratha, that is witchcraft, witch. Dayan means witch. So, which is negative. Due to witchcraft, people die, become sick, do not have son. Somebody was going to have a son, but some witch does something and he has a daughter. Negative thing. To have a daughter is a negative thing in Indian society. So, magic promotes positive things. You go to a magic man for positive things, for long life, for cure, for education, for wealth, for happiness. आजकल दिमाग ठीक नहीं रहता, पंडित जी, ओझा जी या तड़वी या कोई कुछ बताइए क्या करना होगा, so that I feel more relaxed, more happy. That is magic. And witchcraft and sorcery, they are negative things. Negative thing means to kill somebody, to ensure that somebody dies, or somebody becomes sick, or somebody does not have a son, or somebody loses wealth, there is theft or dacoity in someone's house. For all those purposes, you will go to a witch or a sorcerer. So, witchcraft and sorcery are negative aspects of magic, but they are all superstitions. We cannot say that religion is not superstition. Religion is also, religion contains so many things, but religion, the major difference between religion and magic would be that magic is individual and religion is collective. Religion has collective beliefs, collective practices which may be called rituals or rites, a common belief in some textbook, in some text, like it may be Sri Ramcharitmanas, or it may be Guru Granth Sahib, or it may be Quran, or it may be Bible. Common belief, common reverence towards a book or towards one person, some god or some saint or seer or some rishi, a person or some sign, symbol, but it is religion is collective. Religion also gives you identity. So, in this lecture we stop here, and we will take up these theories in the next class.